guys, we're back. I'm Kirsty, and this is my Uncle Beau,
It's Jimmy Bitch,
and we are the same person.
written in a different font. Thanks for joining us again, guys. We had to take a couple of weeks off. There was Thanksgiving, so happy Thanksgiving to everybody who celebrates. But we are back, and we have a little bit of an agenda for everybody today. We obviously have week 3 of Turn Uncle Beau into a Swifty, which is always interesting and always an adventure. And then we have a quick pop culture update, and then we are going to talk about some a little more serious topics this evening. So hopefully you'll stick around for that. And thanks for joining us. Welcome back. Oh, and while you're here, do all of the YouTubey things: subscribe, like, ring the bell, all of those good things. And thank you for joining us. All right,
Okay.
turn Uncle Beau into a Swifty. So what was this week's assignment?
This week's assignment was I gave him 5 songs. Again, I think I'm going to switch it up next week a little bit, so that will be a surprise for all who actually watch this part and don't just skip. So, this week I gave him I Can Do It With a Broken Heart. I picked this one because the Eras Tour is officially over, and I'm sad. I gave him King of My Heart, Ready for It, But Daddy I Love Him, and False God. These are all personal faves of mine, so
Oh,
we will see
oh boy.
what he feels about them. All right, let's start off with I Could Do It With a Broken Heart.
Okay. By the way, all of the links to the versions that I listened to will be in the description below so that you can follow along with what I actually listened to. Okay, I Can Do It With a Broken Heart. I did really enjoy this video, actually. It was really cute. I think this was my favorite from the Poets album so far. In the end of this song, it really caught me up with this kind of like space ethereal background that was going on. So I had to go back and listen to it again to pay attention to the lyrics because I was being distracted. I thought that musically it was a lot of fun, especially as you can probably tell, I get easily distracted by what's going on in the background, even though I'm lyric forward. Sometimes something catches my ear and I can't help but follow it. My favorite line from this: I keep finding his things in drawers, crucial
Crucial
evidence I
evidence.
didn't imagine the whole
My...
thing. That
Okay,
was my favorite line.
all right, that's a good line.
What do you think that I rated this one?
Are we doing halves this week again?
I mean, there may be some halves in here, but I tried to be cognizant to not half a whole lot.
Or did we like jump to 0.25 this week? All
One and
right,
a quarter stars.
yeah.
No.
I think you gave this one a 6.
I actually gave this one a 7.
Okay.
I loved the background on this. There was like this like space arpeggio going on, and it was just making me happy. And just
That's the whole
so,
point of
yeah.
this song.
It,
Is it's just a feel good song. Like I turn it on when I'm sad and I'm so
yeah, it
depressed
just
I act like it's my birthday
it, yeah, it
every
was cute.
day.
So I'm just like, if I enjoy it, it gets a higher rating, and we'll go from there. But I am very interested in coming back to a lot of these. We'll see. So number 2 was King of My
Wait,
Heart.
wait, 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 wait. I want to talk about this song real quick.
Oh, okay. Tell me about
And
it.
I want to tell you why she wrote this. So she wrote this
Oh,
while
okay.
she was actually on the Eras tour. So
Okay.
so she her and Joe Alwyn broke up and she was going through all these heartbreaks, and then she had to get up on stage and she had to hit all of her marks, and it's an
That
actual
line
real
makes sense.
story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm,
So lights, camera, bitch, smile, like even though she wants to die. So
right. Right.
it was like a personal song towards the Eras. And then there's um one part in it. He said he'd love me for all time. You know, that's her
Yeah. Yeah.
actually having a panic attack, like she's hyperventilating. So she's
Oh,
like
okay.
crying. It was like too like, you know, when you're crying and you're talking, you're like, he said he loved me for all time. That's where
Uh,
that
uh,
came from.
for for his life or all
They
time.
they
What is
do
it?
they say both of them.
I don't know how interested you are in Katy Perry, and my interest in Katy Perry is pretty fleeting. But when she was doing the Teenage Dream tour, I believe, and her and Russell, whatever his name was, that she was married to, when he called and said that they were
Oh,
getting
yeah.
divorced,
I just
and
watched about this. She just talked about it
and
somewhere.
she was like sobbing backstage,
Mhm.
and then they put her in the little thing, and then up she went, and out came Katy Perry.
Yep. And then there's one line, "As the crowd is chanting more." So she's saying, like, "I was literally dying, and you people were like, 'More, more, give me more.'" She kinda was saying, "Hello, I'm like an actual person, and I was, like, real life dying."
Yeah, and I totally get that. And not to always go back to Britney Spears, but imagine like all of the times that Britney Spears had to perform on stage and didn't want to be there. Like
Right.
she was being forced. And so like for us it's escape. For
Mhm.
them it's real life. You
It's their
know, they have
job.
to get up there. Yeah, they have to get up there and they have to perform every day.
Right.
And that's how they make their money.
That's why I find, like, parasocial relationships or, interactions with, like, celebrities and their fans or singers and their fans, like, we expect not me personally, because 'cause I'm not like that, but, like, a lot of her
We as in the
fans.
public. Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of her fans expect her to divulge all this information and do more and give them more, and they want this and they want that, and it's like a dangerous game. She had such a good relationship with her fan base for so long. Now they're,
Mm.
like, greedy and they, like, expect it from her. So, it's interesting. Like,
So Tori Amos, for a million years, all of her career, has done this thing where before every show, people would line up. I did it a couple of times. People would line up outside the stage door early in the morning, at 8 or 9 in the morning, and everybody would get a Sharpie on their hand of the number, like when you got there. And then at like noon or 1 o'clock, everybody would line up by number, and then we would all file into this big space. And Tori would come out and sign things and talk to people and take pictures and like on the way into sound check. And she did it for years and years and years and years and years and years. And then COVID came along, and they were like, please don't show up at the stage doors. Please don't do it. Like COVID, we're lucky that we're getting back to touring. Please don't do it. And lo and behold, of course, there's the greedy fucking bitches that
yeah.
would show up at every show, either before and after. And because she's her, she would come out and greet them and meet them and sign things and do the things that they wanted her to do. But she was putting herself at risk.
And she set a boundary and those people all broke it. So,
They all
like,
did, yeah. Every
yeah,
single one of them.
I
Yeah,
think
it's terrible.
it's crazy how, like, fans don't have, they love this person
Boundaries.
so much, but they can't understand, like, that this is, like, a real person, and their whole life isn't revolved around just entertaining us. Like, they actually have feelings and fears and shit like that. Like, they're human beings. They're not like robots up there just there to entertain, you know?
Absolutely. Just a
Okay.
second.
What was the
Yes.
next one?
The next one was King of My Heart.
Yeah. This was from Reputation again.
Yeah.
Clearly, I
And
like Reputation.
yeah, clearly I really like this album thus far. I mean,
Yeah.
it's
Amazing.
the one that I have related to the most outside of the 1989, which I have. This one had like some bassy groove, which
Mhm.
I love. And it wasn't right up front, and then it kind of like drops in, which I liked. Just personal note, I hate when American people say Jaguar.
It's so funny because I'm always like, why does she say that?"
That's the way that British people say it.
And that's why, because she was with Joe Alwyn, who is
Mm.
British.
But so this sounds a lot like a Britney track,
Really?
like circa 2008. Like I'm here for it. It's kind of like
I
bop,
like the snap.
like yeah, it's very kind of like Britney, and the production on it was amazing. I always really like a well-produced dance bop track. Like
Yeah.
it's just one of my favorite things. Favorite lyric, is this the end of all of the endings?
Is this the end of all the endings? This is a newer one of my favorites. I've never really listened to it. So this is like a last 2 months new fave.
Well, we can add it to the list of songs that we're allowed to listen to at Christmas.
Okay, so I'm gonna
Oh, that's
guess.
why you did a whole bunch of your favorites,
Y-
is because you wanted to be able
Duh.
to listen to them at
I was
Christmas.
I was like, all right, which songs? I literally, it took me like an hour. Like, all right, he has all these ones. Which songs do I listen to all the time? Because I have to have him listen to them so that we can listen to them at Christmas.
That's funny. When you said these were your favorites, I was like, well, that seems weird. But anyways, so what do you think that I rated this one?
A 7.
This was a solid 8 for me. I really liked it.
Let's
Yeah,
Yes.
I really like this one. This one was a lot of fun. What is any story that I have to know about this song, or is it just a bop?
It's just a bop.
Okay, I'm
And
fine with just a
honestly,
bop.
there might be a story, but
You
I
don't
don't
know
know
it yet.
it. No.
Yeah. So song number 3, we are on
Ready for.
ready for it.
Mm-hmm.
So right up front, I was like, what is happening with this bass line? Like, was Nicki Minaj supposed to be on this? Like,
This is Monty's favorite song because she like raps in it, you
yeah.
know?
Well, my comment is, it's so rappy.
It
I
is.
was like, when is Nicki coming in?
Literally. It's so funny because everyone's like, I can't listen to Taylor Swift. I like rap. I'm like, here, ready for it.
I like the chorus more than
Yeah.
the verses for sure. And it almost feels like it's two different songs mashed together.
Mhm.
I definitely need to listen to it more, but I did find myself smiling a lot through this just because it's cute and fun.
Mhm.
Um,
In the
but
middle of the night, in my
yeah,
dreams.
the chorus is
It's great.
fire. It's
Yeah.
fantastic.
Uh-huh.
And the rapping, I'm just not sure how I feel about it. But no matter what, I did find myself bopping along and enjoying it. Favorite lyric? Wonder how many girls he had loved and left haunted.
Mhm.
I thought that was really great. So, what do you think that I rated this one?
A 5.
So, I gave it a 6.5.
Oh, we're doing great.
Yeah, I gave it a 6.5. I have a feeling that this song is going to grow on me.
It will. It,
Um,
it will. At first, it was like a skip. But the chorus gets me.
the
Like
chorus is very good.
it is. It's so good. It's super
Yeah,
catchy.
I was really kind of torn in what rating I was going to give this because I
Mhm.
was like, I really like the chorus. There's no Nicki Minaj, and she belongs on this track for sure. And
It's funny because her and Nikki love each other.
like, why isn't Nicki Minaj on this track? It was screaming Nicki
She had
Minaj. If Nicki Minaj was on this, I definitely would have given it like a 7.5. But it was fun. It was fun, but like it was just
it threw you
weird.
off.
So it really did throw me off. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we got a 6.5 on that one.
Okay.
Number 4, but Daddy, I love him. So first of all, just the name of this track, I just
I love it. It literally reminds me of me and Toddy so much.
the name of this track just makes me want to gag a little. It's definitely kind of country, even with the chord progression, and there's like the finger picking of the guitars. And I was surprised that this was from
Torture
Poets,
Poet.
right?
Yeah.
So I was like, because I was thinking that this was an early track
Mm-mm.
as I was listening to it, and I was like, I'm not sure how I feel about this. And then like I was looking at the thing, I was like, oh, this is like
This is
new.
new.
There were a couple lines in it that really made me feel sappy and gave me some goosebumps. But my favorite line, I think this is probably everybody's favorite line. I'm guessing, I'm having his baby. No, I'm
I'm
not. You
not.
should see your faces.
Oh, I love it. Because
I
like
literally. Can't
When
stand the name of this song though. Is this about the Kelsey brother?
so my theory behind it. So there's a part in the song where it sounds like it's over.
Mm,
It's like the last minute, and then it's like, we came back when the heat died down, went to my parents and they came around. You
yeah,
know what I'm talking about?
yeah, I'm talking
It's
about.
that whole ending part. We think she added it on. Not we. I. I think she added it on to finish. I think it was initially about Maddie Healy
Oh, okay.
because nobody wanted her with him at all.
Guess what?
Like
It's not up to you.
literally her whole I didn't this was like before I even knew anything. I came when she was already with Travis Kelsey. But
Yeah,
like
yeah.
all of her fans were pissed about Maddie Healy because I don't know him, so I don't know why they're pissed, but they were fucking pissed.
Yeah, I
So
don't know her.
right, so I think that was the initial song, and then she added that last part because then she got with Travis Kelsey.
What do you think I rated this one?
A 6.
That is exactly correct.
I'm getting better at this.
Number 5, False God. So this was a weird one.
I thought you were gonna love this one.
So it's got this R&B groove to it,
Okay, yeah,
and
it does.
like, and it's this weird like '90s Janet Jackson R&B groove to it,
Uh huh.
which I'm here for.
Yeah.
It's got like this "That's the Way Love Goes" like Janet Jackson feel to it, but I was having a hard time. It was an interesting choice to bring back the sax though, because in the 80s we loved the sax and
Uh
there
huh.
has been no sax ever since. So I think that was really cool. I just don't know if this is the kind of sexy she can pull off. Like, and
Oh, and I
just
didn't
bear
get to her sexy songs yet, so we're
just
gonna
just
get there.
just bear with me. Like, it's trying to be a mood and I get the mood, but this is like drag a guy up on stage and dance for him like Janet Jackson does. Bring a guy up and tie him to a chair and do a tease for him. And just don't
You
I can't buy it from Taylor Swift.
see, and this is exactly why I want to change up the project for next week
Okay.
because I feel like you need to see it. I feel like you need to see
So
it. You need to visualize what I'm seeing to see it. So like I'm like our song girl, like literally country little Taylor Swift, you belong with me type
yeah,
of Taylor Swift. When I
yeah.
first started watching the Eras tour, I cuz I didn't know her music. I only knew the shit that was on the radio. That's what got me. Cuz I was like, who the fuck is that?" Like she has a chair. She's doing these, you know,
Oh,
dropping
she
it
does
on
have
the
a chair.
chair. Yeah, it's crazy. It is
Yeah,
crazy. So
it's
like
it's
this is naughty Taylor. Naughty Taylor. I'm like it blew me. It literally blew me.
we'll see. We'll see because like I grew
It's
up with
not
Janet
country
Jackson.
Taylor anymore, I'm telling you.
No, that's fine. That's great. And like
She's not
Reputation,
little girl, good girl
all of
anymore.
this, all of the stuff that came out of Reputation, like
So good.
I dig that. It just really wasn't working for me. I mean, look, I get what she was going for. It's hard for me to buy it. You know what I mean?
You have to see
Because
it. I'm telling you.
listen, as a gay man in 1999, 1998, I went to see Janet Jackson and I got picked by her dancers to be in the second row. And I knew that was the pool that they chose from to pull some dude up on stage.
Yeah.
And don't think for a minute that I was not a maniac trying to get on that stage. don't think for a minute, for any time, any place, that I was not begging to be on that stage. Oh, I think it was Rope Burn that tour, but I was like, pick me, pick me.
Please.
I I want to get sexed on by Janet Jackson. For Taylor Swift, it just wasn't doing it for me. So we'll see. So what do you think that I rated this one?
A 4 because you didn't like it.
I gave it a 5 because
Okay.
going below 5 is hard for me. I don't want to, but this was weird for me. We'll see. Maybe I'll come back to it. Maybe I'll like it.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
So Taylor Swift era over for today, and sorry the Eras tour is over. Hopefully, the next tour will be just as fun.
And I will be there. There is no
I
chance in
will,
hell I'm missing that one.
when she tours again, I will try and get us tickets.
Yes, that will be so fun. And just so we are clear, this is the highest grossing tour ever.
I saw that.
Ever. $2 billion.
Yeah, yeah, $2 billion, 1.7 million euros. I was watching a bunch of stuff about it today, and well, I guess even though we're still talking about Taylor Swift, but this goes into our pop culture, our
Look at
pop
look at
culture
us
stuff that I wanted to talk about.
transitioning.
Yeah, we're gonna transition into pop culture. This is our pop culture stuff. We're still talking about Taylor Swift. Yeah, $2 billion. She also gifted $197 million
Million.
to all of her crew
Yep.
and all of that stuff. Which I
Amazing.
mean, here's the thing. I always liked Taylor Swift as a person. I think she's generous, she's a billionaire, and she's the kind of billionaire that you would hope that other
Makes a
billionaires would be.
billionaire. Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
If I was a billionaire, though, on one hand, if you're a billionaire and you give away all your money, you're not going to be a billionaire anymore. But on the other hand,
You don't need $1 billion.
no.
Right.
So, like, I would feel compelled to make
She
things
treats
good in the world.
she treats her
Staff.
staff and everybody very well. Like very, very well. That's most of them have been there since the first tour. Like all of her
Yeah.
band has been there for years and years and years. So,
When I went to see Evanescence in 2016, I was in the front row, and there was a guy that was 2 seats down from me who had a Fallen jersey, like that was a crew Fallen jersey, which was their first tour. And I was like, where did you get that? And he was like, I was on the crew. And I was like, no shit. I was like, how do I get one of those? And he was like, you can't. I was on the crew. So Tori's crew has been with her for
yeah.
30 years.
I feel like it
So
says a lot about an artist whenever the people who work for her say nothing but good things.
yeah, I think that's really great.
Yeah.
Uh,
What
Pop
is
culture point number 2,
yeah.
we saw Wicked, not together.
We did see Wicked. How
We did see
amazing.
Wicked.
How amazing.
So I got the soundtrack before I saw the movie.
Yeah.
And I was like, I didn't know about Cynthia Erivo's Elphaba because I'm so emotionally attached to Idina Menzel as Elphaba. Like, it's it's just part of me. And Ariana was doing Glinda as Kristen Chenoweth doing Glinda, and I thought that was great. But I was really having a hard time with Cynthia as Elphaba. The way that she was singing the songs, the way that she was approaching them, I was like, it's just not the same. It's just not the same. And then I saw the movie.
So good.
I was like, oh,
So
now I
freaking good.
understand.
Yeah.
I understand where she was going. I understand where she was coming from. I understand where she was going. It was so good. I went to a 10 p.m. showing because my anxiety does not want me to be in a full theater. and it was a full theater at 10 p.m.
You didn't tell me that.
It was a completely full theater. When we bought the tickets, it wasn't a full theater. It was a full theater at 10 p.m. We didn't get out of the theater until
It's
1 a.m.
long. It's real long. That I think that's the first almost 3-hour movie I've ever seen in the movie theater. I was the one who was like super excited, but I could see some of my coworkers like, "Holy shit, this is long," and I'm like,
It was so
"It was
good.
so good." I
It
cried
was
4
so good.
times.
And I think I laughed so hard.
I know. And I thought it was hysterical. Nobody else laughed. I thought it was
No, but
so.
nobody else was
It
really
was.
laughing.
It was
I
just
was
me.
laughing.
I know.
I was laughing through the whole thing. I
The
was like, Glinda is. Oh
the
my god, the hair toss was great.
it's great. It was great. She freaking nailed it.
I thought the comedy in it was gold,
For
and like the story was fantastic. Everybody, Fiero, I mean Bailey is just. Anyways, but yeah, very good. I'm so glad that I got to see it in the theater. We are going to go to the sing along
for
because
sure.
the sing along I think I can do in a full theater. Like it won't matter
Well,
because
yeah, and we
I
can
can
like
just
have a few drinks and
yeah.
it will
I
be
think
fun.
yeah, it'll be fun.
And I want to
I
see it again. Like
oh
I could go back. I walked out of the movie theater and I was like, I could go right back in and watch it again. Like
I
it was that
I
good.
I already pre-ordered it in iTunes so that I will have it the day that it comes out for
I
streaming.
I will be watching it like daily.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I can't wait.
Yeah. And the
Uh,
message behind it and the timing of the movie, chef's kiss.
I
Chef's
you
kiss.
know I'm sure that there are a lot of right wing people out there who love this movie.
Yeah, and they think that like, Trump is Alphaba, and I think it's hysterical.
Not even that. I think they just don't get that.
No, there's so many people on TikTok who are saying like Trump is our Alphaba. He's going to save us and he's fighting for the people who are done wrong. And I'm like,
No,
you guys have this so messed up.
no. Like he's the wizard.
Yes, exactly. He is the phony wizard. Like, come on. It's clear as day. It is clear as
Yeah.
day.
I mean, it's
But
fine.
perception is everything, I guess.
It is. It is. And we all see things from a specific perspective that
Mhm.
we can't always understand somebody else's perspective. But yeah, it was good. I can't wait to see it again, and I really, I'm looking forward to singing along with it. I think that'll be a lot of fun.
So do you think they did it justice?
I had high expectations, and it surpassed them.
Leaps and bounds.
I will always prefer the stage show, just because I've seen it so many times. But the movie did it really good justice. Like,
So, what I was explaining to my mom, I've only seen the stage show once, the play, but the movie felt so much more personal. Like, I could see the emotion on their face. I couldn't
yeah,
see that in the play. Do you know what I mean? So, like, it didn't cut as deep during the dance.
through life, and yeah,
Yeah, I couldn't see what they were feeling. So,
yeah,
the movie made it more it hit
real and
deeper.
personal.
Yeah, for sure.
I can't wait for part two.
Oh, I know.
I can't believe we have to wait a year for it. I'm
I
so mad.
wait, I'm just happy that we only have to wait a year because
Fair, because they already filmed
they
it.
already
Yeah,
did it. If they had to still film it, we would have been 3 years out.
absolutely. Okay.
On to the more pressing stuff. Do you wanna start this off? Because I don't know much about it.
Yeah,
This is all on you, Uncle Bill.
I
I'm I
know. And
I'm on your side 100%, but this is your knowledge.
I know. So Trump has announced that he would like to ban trans people from the military again and
Okay.
again. And so it's 15,000 families. It's not a small number. 15,000 families will lose their livelihood. And those are people, those are families, whether you like them or not, whether you agree with them or not, those are people. Those are people who are making a living to put food on their table, that may have children, that may have parents that they're taking care of. These are people that you're taking their livelihood away from them. And what are they going to do?
And
Um,
people who
the
protected
Trump
us
camp,
at that. They
well,
put their
yeah,
life
I
on the line
mean,
for
they put their life on the line for us,
right, and
and we're just saying, you're fired,
yeah,
to quote Trump. But
literally.
the Trump campaign and allies spent $21 million on anti-trans ads, and Trump was telling people that their kids were going to come home from school trans, and that they were going
That
to,
they were
like,
doing trans surgeries in jails. Like,
yeah,
what?
well, and I mean,
It
like,
was just so
so
ridiculous.
let's be perfectly fair. Kamala did say that she would support that in an old interview for the, I can't remember who it was for, but she did, I think it was like, fill out some paperwork that said that she would support it. Whatever, I don't care. But so,
They're not doing a ton. Is That's what Trump was getting at. You go to jail and
right.
you come home a different gender. Like, no, that's not what's happening.
And so this is a news point, right? The news point is all of these people are going to lose their jobs, all of these people are going to lose their livelihoods, and it's breaking my heart. But what I really want to talk about is why I feel strongly about it. And I feel like there's all of this political dissent about trans people, and uh, I do understand it. Like, I don't want people to think that I'm dismissing what they think or what they feel about these things, but I want to talk about me and why I feel this way. First of all, I want to say that we are the LGBTQ plus and all of the other letters that may follow that. I'm old. I'm old and I'm gay, and I was there before there was even a Q and
Yeah.
before there was a plus. And I want to say that even though I don't understand all of the different sexualities that come along now, or all of the different they, thems, the genders, like, I don't understand it. I'm old. I came up in a different time, and I don't care. Um,
It's as simple as that. Is like,
yeah, like, I don't care. If
I don't
you say
care.
you want me to call you they, I will
Fine.
do my best, and that's fine.
Right.
I might not be good at it. I will do my best. And because if it makes you feel better, I don't really care. But these people are people, right? And I do have trans friends, and I grew up in the 90s with drag queens and
Mhm.
trans people in the gay clubs, and, like, these are people that I know. These are people that I care about. These are real life people. And I think that we forget sometimes what they've given to the community. And so I don't know how much you think about this, but every year we celebrate Pride.
Mhm.
What do you know about Pride and why we celebrate it?
I don't know any history on that. I just know that
So,
I'm a I'll celebrate you guys. But I don't know the
okay.
history of it or why it's that day or that month.
In New York City, there would regularly be raids on bars that had queer patrons in them in the 60s, and they would be jailed and beaten, and because people didn't like them.
Mhm.
And in June, I don't remember the specific date, but in June in 1969, they were at the Stonewall Cafe in New York City, and the police came and tried to beat up a bunch of queers. And the people who fought for us, the people who picked up a brick and threw it, the people who started the riot that gave me the rights that I have today, were trans women of color. Two women in particular, Marsha P. Johnson and Sylvia Riviera, were two trans women of color that I owe my rights to.
Mhm.
So when that happened, years later, they started to commemorate Pride in June because those trans women started the fight that gave me the rights that I have today.
Yeah.
So it's very important to me that we show them care, treat them the same way that we treat anybody else, because without them starting what became the gay rights movement, I wouldn't have what I have.
Right.
Like, it's very important to me. I will always stand with my trans friends because in history my trans friends have always been there for me, and I think it's very important.
I think it's important that people understand because a lot of people don't or choose to ignore the fact that trans people have always been here.
Right.
They've always been around. This isn't a new thing. There's always been trans people, and guess what? They've always went to the same bathroom as you and you never even knew. Like
Right.
this has been going on for years. This is part of a rhetoric that
Mm.
is pushed by a certain group of people to
Scare
make
people.
make them hate them. That's literally it.
I remember what it was like growing up in the 90s and being gay and being the target of people's
Bullying.
dislike of something other than them, something
Yeah.
that they didn't understand, something that the, back in the day, psychologically, gay was a mental illness.
Mhm.
And a lot of people are saying that trans people have a mental illness. And the Psychological Society is saying that they don't. Just like when I was young and the gays had some sort of psychological thing wrong with them, that they were mentally ill. And we're saying the same thing about these trans people. And I know what it's like to be the target of something like that.
Mhm.
And I just want to protect other people who are being targeted like that. It's important to me. And I'm sorry that some people feel differently, and that's fine. But in the 90s, man, at the gay bars, I went into the ladies' room constantly.
Like,
Me and all my girlfriends, we went to the ladies' room together and we all hung out in there and did stuff we weren't supposed to do in there
and
and had a
I
good time. And
that's been
like,
happening for years. For years.
I,
I have a
just
million
for me.
gay friends who have came into the bathroom with us. Like
Yeah.
it it's always happened, and guess what? Nothing happened. Like
99.99% of people who are going into the bathroom are just trying to go to the bathroom.
and I could bet money on it that the people who are going into the bathroom to hurt somebody or to harm a woman, it's definitely not a trans person or a
Right.
gay person.
And I do understand like the fear, right? I do. I don't want to
I don't understand
discount
it.
you. Look, sexual assault is a thing. It's a real thing,
Oh,
and
of that. I thought you meant
yeah.
of trans people.
Well, but
No,
that's the
that's their
reasoning.
excuse. That's their excuse. That's what they like to say because they don't like them because they choose to live a different life. They need a reason behind it, so they choose that. It's just like racism, like they have
I
to
know.
find it.
I don't want to vilify people who do genuinely have fear, but that's why I'm saying I want people to realize that this isn't something that trans people do. This is something that men do.
Straight men do.
That's yeah, that straight men do. And could they take advantage of this, you know, loophole? I guess they could, but nobody's going to stop a straight man from going into a women's room anyways. So, like, what does it matter? And
People
like
have been turning their cheeks to it for years.
on the flip side of this, I think that cis women or non-trans women, some people get offended about the word cis, but non-trans women in a bathroom would be very upset if a trans man came into the bathroom to use the bathroom.
That's what I don't understand.
Because
It's
if you
it's like they forget that there's that population of people.
hold on, we're gonna put a little picture here. I'm gonna send you a picture. We're gonna put
Okay.
a little picture here of a man, of a trans man who was on the cover of like a Sports Illustrated
Right.
like type magazine. Do you want this dude in the
It is very much a dude.
in the ladies' room? Do you want this dude in the ladies' room? Because I think you would be very upset if you went in and that person was in there.
It is like they just completely don't acknowledge that population of people exist. Do you know what
And
I
that
mean?
population is actually a lot bigger
Yeah, like
than, yeah.
they're like, we don't want any men in our bathroom. Well, you're asking for it.
You're asking for men
That's
in your bathroom.
exactly what you're asking for. You're asking for men to come in.
I just don't understand why people feel compelled to care about what other consenting adults are doing in their lives. If they're breaking laws and being mischievous and causing mayhem, then absolutely. But
But that's
for
not happening.
people,
That's not
yeah,
happening with that population. It's really not. And I think the story and the narrative that's being pushed is just harmful to those people. Like
well, it's
it
harmful to
I'm
those people.
I'm scared for them
Absolutely.
because
Mm.
they're drawing hate towards that group of people for absolutely no reason. They're just trying to live their freaking lives. That's it.
I was in Vegas a couple of years ago, and I was walking down the street with some coworkers, and it just so happened that we were drinking, and I had my arm up on somebody's shoulder as we were walking down the strip, and a car drove past me, threw a bottle at me, and called me the F word.
What?
Yeah.
Well, I'm happy that
So,
we weren't in Vegas together.
yeah. So it still exists, that
Oh,
kind
for
of
sure.
like it
That
still
hate.
exists. And I'm not doing anything that hurts anybody. And 99.99999% of trans people also are not hurting anybody. Are there gay people who are bad people? Absolutely, 100%. And there are gay people who are in jail, and there are gay people who should be in jail, but it's not because they're gay.
Right.
Just like, are there trans people who are in jail? Absolutely. Are there trans people who don't belong in jail? Absolutely. They're people. Like, we have to stop othering people.
Yeah,
All people.
for sure.
I think that's all I have to say about the situation, and thank you for listening to me and letting me talk about it. I
You're
appreciate it.
welcome. I think that's what we're trying to do is we're trying to educate, and I will be the first to let you educate me on things that I don't know about. But you know that I'm always standing right next to in the front line with my LGBTQ peeps. So,
Don't forget the plus. No.
plus LGBTQ plus.
I know there's like I's and A's and I's, and there's all sorts of letters now. And
Oh
I
yeah, for
mean,
sure.
go for it. Add as many letters as you want, but
Like I said, I don't care. I could
yeah.
it is not affecting me whatsoever. And there's people who hate it so much. Like, I'm not saying they. What is the big deal? You know,
Okay.
like who cares? It's just a simple pronoun. If that's gonna make someone happy, just fucking do it. Like,
Well, and but even if like, okay, um, hi sister dear, your mother's name is Daihan.
yeah,
Nobody calls her that.
it's D.
Yeah, I was
So
like,
what if she was like,
I am James,
yeah,
and if you call me James, like, it irritates me. Call me Jimmy. It's just an ask. Sorry, sister dear. Like, it's just a name. It's just what people prefer to be called. Chris versus Christopher versus.
Listen, there are so many more things in the world to be worried about. I
I
will
know.
absolutely call you whatever you want me to call you.
Yeah.
That's
Like,
that
I
is
really don't
literally it.
care.
Me either, honest to God. Okay. Now on to my rant for today.
Okay.
So this just happened and I said I was going to talk about it on here to a couple people.
Okay.
Let me read you what our county sheriff posted. Actually, he wrote something and had it printed in the newspaper. All right.
Yeah.
So, this is what it says. Are we ready?
I'm ready. Let's go.
I
This
can't
was in
wait
the
to.
paper?
Yes. It appears society has become more dangerous. I have witnessed the news media calling for women to arm themselves. My office has seen an increase in gun permits issued to females, and we often advise them to get training if a weapon is purchased.
Hmm.
Due to the increase in liberal district attorneys not prosecuting criminals and the influx of illegal aliens, some of who are rapists and murderers, there is fear among citizens. As the chief law enforcement officer of that place, I have directed my deputies on our warrant team and my entire staff of 75 to work with the Pennsylvania State Police, Attorney General, and the federal government to apprehend wanted illegal aliens. We are fortunate in our county to have top notch law enforcement departments and a chief prosecutor that fully enforce the law. We will do our best to keep our county safe and keep it a great place to live. Signed, County Sheriff.
Okay.
So,
All right.
I have so many thoughts on this. There is just so much shit that I want to talk right to this motherfucker, like right to his face.
Okay. Well,
So, I have, first and foremost, Pennsylvania as a whole has 153,000 roundabout. That this is the 2024 number.
okay.
153,000 undocumented immigrants in PA.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
Philly accounting for almost 50,000 of those.
Okay. So 100,000 ish in the rest of the state. Yeah.
There is a list of all of the counties in Pennsylvania who have a significant number of illegal
Yeah.
immigrants, right? The lowest number on the list was Dauphin County at 3,000.
Okay.
The county I live in was not even anywhere on that list. Nowhere. Because we have none. We don't have any. There is no immigrant. If there is, maybe a couple hundred, maybe at most. This
At
is
most. Yeah.
white, 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 white. There is no issue here with any crimes committed by illegal immigrants. None. Zero. Why he would say that is absolutely beyond me. Beyond me. Just to fearmonger, to like, what is the purpose of that? To blame crime on illegal immigrants that our county doesn't even fucking have? Like, that's insane. That is actually insane that an elected official will say things like that. I mean, granted, look who we voted for our president. So, but why?
Well, I mean, let's think for a second. Maybe he believes that. So maybe he believes that. Maybe he believes that there are more illegal immigrants in the county than are really there.
No.
Not that it makes it right or not, but I'm
No,
just saying,
I
like,
think he needs someone to blame and
for
to
what?
for the crime that his government officials are committing. Every last fucking one of them. They're all criminals, every one of them. So they need someone to put this blame on. And they can't blame it on actual people in this county because they would be like, whoa, buddy, I didn't fucking do that. So they blame it on imaginary immigrants. That's craziness. That is pure craziness. Because here we are in my county, the task force, the police officer, the sheriffs. We have
Hmm.
had, he said that the liberal district attorneys and prosecutors, they're not putting these people away.
Okay,
Well, let's talk about who those liberal people also let off the hook, right? So we
sure.
had a former county sheriff arrested within the last 5 years for stealing from the city to fund his political campaign. He has received 6 months probation. Okay.
Okay.
We had a deputy sheriff arrested for bribing women inmates at the jail into giving him sexual favors in return for tobacco for a 10-year span. 10
Wow.
years. He was getting his dick sucked in the sheriff van on the way to court. 10 fucking years. You know what he received? Take a guess.
Um, a, a month probation.
6 months house arrest.
Okay.
That's not good.
No.
What he was doing is very illegal. Okay.
Right.
Chief of police was arrested by the feds for being involved in a drug chief of police, okay? For being involved in a drug ring operation where he was distributing cocaine and methamphetamines to multiple different states. He was released on an unsecured bond since day 1, and he has still not been sentenced. Another officer involved in the drug ring was allowed to retire and has been receiving her pension since.
Oh, wow.
A current deputy sheriff got drunk out of state and was caught peeing on cars. When an officer approached him, he tried to disarm the officer and is currently out on paid leave and will most likely be only charged with misdemeanors. So, here in the county, that there is so much illegal immigrant crime, so our county sheriff says, is really an entire county of people of power committing crimes. And they need someone to toss the blame to.
Like,
Crazy.
the reason that women are arming themselves, which is
It's not because of
debatable.
illegal immigrants.
Right. So I just want to
It's
be clear.
the people of the white old ass men in power in our county. That's who you should be scared of. Because I've watched with my own two eyes state police right here. I've tried to bring awareness to the misconduct of Pennsylvania State Police in our area, regular police. I called multiple times, spoke to the sheriff, spoke to this person, and I was completely stonewalled every single time. They just sweep it under the rug. I literally have actual proof of somebody pulling over a heroin addict and the officer saying, They found a bag in her car. The officer saying, if you tell me right now that you got this from Toddy Harris, I won't even charge you. That is fucking illegal. Like,
Yeah.
you can't do that. And no, she didn't fucking get it from him. But you wanted to set up somebody so badly because you think you can and because you do, and they completely get away with it here in our county. They can do whatever the fuck they want. Whatever they want. There's no they are 100% above the law here. And it actually makes me sick that the person who is supposed to protect and serve our community knows all of this stuff, and all of his employees and all the people who are, you know, hired under him are committing all these crimes, and they are going to target a population who is doing absolutely nothing fucking wrong. They're not committing crimes. They're not killing people. They're not raping people. They're not bribing women for sexual favors in a courtroom. Like,
I
it's
think
actually insane.
fear is a strong tool. So I think Trump has done a really good job at portraying illegal immigrants as violent people. And while some illegal immigrants are probably violent, that doesn't make all illegal immigrants violent.
I would be happy with them just saying, yeah, our entire county is corrupt as fuck. I would be happy with that. But instead, they like to place blame other places.
So we have covered two very deep and meaningful conversations this evening on our LGBTQ plus and corruption topics this evening. And we thank you for joining us. We do have a few questions from a listener that we would like to address. Would you like to give those
No.
questions for us?
Well,
I think
okay. This is from my friend. She wanted to know the answer to this question. She said, I work with a lot of the gay community at my job, and a lot of them have open relationships and are not content with being with just one person. Is this common in the gay community everywhere or just where she lives?
it's common everywhere.
Why?
That's the short answer. It's common everywhere. So I think I'm trying to think if I know any truly monogamous gay couples, and
I mean,
I
I know a couple.
I don't think I know any off the top of my
Is
head.
it
I could
just
be
gay
wrong.
men?
I think in the majority, so consensual non-monogamy is very commonplace just in general, probably a lot more common than people think that it is. And I think that even amongst straight couples and bi couples and all of the other sexualities, it's a lot more common than people really think it is. But it is especially prevalent in the gay community. And I think it's mostly because people are men in general, I think, have a really much easier time separating sex from love.
Yeah, I think that's a man
But
problem.
well, I mean, there are a lot of lesbians who are in poly relationships. That is also a thing. I can't speak as much to that because that's not something that I have a lot of experience with. But I think it is fairly common. It is a thing.
I don't know.
And
have a
I
bunch
know that
of lesbian friends who are married, and they, I mean, if they cheat, it's not allowed. So,
right, but what if they do it together?
no, I don't know anybody who does that either.
Hmm.
Mm-mm. I think it's a man thing.
It must be.
I think so because, like I told you, the way that like a lot of women's, I'm not gonna say all women, but how our brain works, that's not. I don't know.
and
I would never be okay with it.
and just to be clear, I don't think that all of, certainly not all gay men, but all of the gay men that I know, that the monogamy is not important. Loyalty and knowing who you're going home to and building a life together is important, but the sexual aspect of it, a lot of people don't really care. Like, it's not a big deal. But
Different
like, we can't,
different
like, we're not,
strokes for different folks. That's all.
but we can't get each other pregnant. So like, a lot less long lasting ramifications to that sort of thing.
Consequences.
Yeah, I mean, there are consequences. The HIV/AIDS epidemic was pretty clear on what long term ramifications there can be, but for the most part, like, it's not a big deal.
So there's no real reason behind why gay men are so promiscuous.
There's no reason, because there's no reason to not be. Sorry, mom.
Period.
That's the way it is, I guess.
That
And
is a topic that I don't have no comments on because I can't even, yeah, out of my realm.
yeah, gay life is different, I guess. And what was her other question? Oh, her other question was about Friends of Dorothy. But for those who don't know about Friends of Dorothy, gay men have been referring to themselves. It was like a kind of a code of Friends of Dorothy, was a kind of a code ever since Judy Garland was in The Wizard of Oz. And Judy Garland was a well known gay rights supporter, even way back then. And she had a ton of gay fans. And so that was just how gay men back in the day used to identify one another. Well, are you a friend of Dorothy? And that would be how they knew that the other person was DTF.
Oh my god. Not DTF.
Yeah. And
That
on
is
that note,
funny. DTF. I haven't heard that in a long time.
well, that's
Is
what
that
came
is
out.
that still being said
So
on
yeah,
Grinder? DTF.
yeah, yeah. NSA, DTF. Yeah,
What is NSA?
no strings attached.
Oh shit. We
Yeah, the
don't
gay
have,
community
yeah.
is weird.
No, I'm very monogamous.
Yeah, that's
Very.
great.
Yeah,
On
but
that note,
whatever floats your boat. Like I said earlier, I don't care.
yeah, I mean, it doesn't.
Whatever makes
Nobody's
people
business,
happy.
but anybody else's, but their
Yep.
business. Okay, thank you for joining us on the couch and having a drink with us, or a few drinks with us, as the case may be. We really appreciate that you guys have deemed us worthy to spend some time with. If you are coming back, definitely thank you. If you are a new person, once again, like, comment, subscribe, do all of the things. We appreciate you spending some time with us. And if nobody told you today,
We love ya.
thank you very much and
See you
have a
guys
great day.
next week.
See you guys next week. Bye.
Shadows free. Together we rewrite our destiny. Oh, oh.